As we have perfectly seen the theory of earthquake, and we have perfectly defined that the how defining the earthquake load as per the IS 1893 2016, we have seen it. But here, when we define it, we don't need to assign this earthquake loads as of the gravity load. When we define the gravity loads like the live load and the floor finish and ceiling plaster load or the wall load, we need to go and assign the members the load, okay, as per the IS code. But as of this earthquake load, when we define this as per this code, that is 1893 2016, and just choose here this are been taken by the software itself. These are been assigned to the software itself. We don't need to go and assign once again all of this. When you define this perfectly like this, what I have told you that how to define it, then all this thing will be defined on its own by the assigned on its own by the software. We don't need to go once again and define all these things. So we'll now move further, defining the diaphragm and assigning the diaphragm. What is the diaphragm? We will see in detail how to add, define and assign the diaphragm in ETABS. What is the diaphragm in ETABS? A diaphragm in ETABS basically a floor level connection that makes a slab, all slab joints move together during the earthquake or the wind. This assigning part of this earthquake and wind loads, we don't assign them, right? We have discussed that we don't assign them. But how it actually done? It is actually done using the diaphragms that we are going to discuss now. This the diaphragms are nothing but a diaphragm in ETAS, basically a floor level connection that makes the all slab joint move together during the earthquake or the wind. Think of it like the ties every column and the beam on the floor. During shaking, the whole floor moves as a one unit. This helps the ETAPS understand how the lateral loads travels from slab, beams, columns, shear walls. Okay, so basically how it works. This is the diaphragm. This part is the diaphragm. We generally select the column. This we generally select the slab area. We generally select this slab area, not beam or the column. You only select this slab area, and then after we define and assign the diaphragm. What will this diaphragm do? When if a lateral load is been acting here, like if the earthquake load is acting in this direction from here, it will not act for each and every floor here or the element here or the member here. It will act at the center of this whole building. This is the whole building, right? Then it will act at this center point. Basically it will act at this center point. This when this lateral load of the earthquake will hit here, it will not take this part. It will directly accumulate whole building mass to this center, and here we the it will be in the form of the diaphragm, and the quick load will be seen. Okay, then after there are basically two types of the diaphragm: rigid diaphragm and the semi-rigid diaphragm. Rigid diaphragm, a slab is assumed very stiff. All joints move together with no in-plane deformation. Best for the normal thick RCC slab, most commonly used. This rigid diaphragm slabs is assumed as very stiff. All joints move together with no in-plane deformation. Best in normal thick slab. This is important. This is best for the normal thick RCC slab. Most commonly used. We generally use this rigid diaphragm only. Okay, and the second type is the semi-rigid diaphragm. These are called as the flexible diaphragm also. So ETAPS models the actual flexibility of the slab. Joints can deform in plane. Need when the slab is irregular shape, has large opening, very flexible, required by the codes. These are generally not used mostly. The rigid slabs are only used, but if there is a irregular shape of the slab, has a large opening, when it is very flexible, or when it is required by the code, then we choose the semi-rigid diaphragm. So let's see the quick comparison between both of them. That rigid diaphragm, it has the no in-plane deformation. Floor moves as one block. Load go to column and the wall at the edges. Loads go to the column and the wall at the edges. Accidental eccentricity at the center of mass. okay, and it is best suited for the typical RCC buildings. And now let's see for the semi-rigid diaphragm. It is the in-plane deformation allowed. Here in the rigid, no in-plane deformation were allowed. In the semi-rigid, in-plane deformation is allowed. More realistic load distribution is there. Accidental eccentricity applied at every node. It is best for the irregular slab opening and the flexible floors. So which one should we use? Use rigid when slab is thick, the building when the slab is thick, when the building is regular, when no large opening is present, when typical residential commercial RCC building we are making, then we have to use this rigid. And when to use this semi rigid? When there is a large slab opening like the stairs, when there is a irregular floor plan, we use this semi rigid. Long span floors, steel deck floor, and when the codes requires the accurate diaphragm modeling, we use this semi rigid form. But generally, as to be noted, we use as the thick slab or the thin slab, we generally use this rigid diaphragm only, okay. And for the RCC structure and the residential and the commercial, we generally use rigid. So to be noted that in every model we have to do that. In the 6th model, if you are doing in the previous model, if you want to do the earthquake analysis, we need to do it in the form of the rigid diaphragm only, okay. So we will be see how to define them step by step. How to define and assign a diaphragm. These are the steps of it, how to define and assign the diaphragm. First of all, I will show you by the fast way how it works. This is your plan view, right? Just go to this define. In define, there is an option here present as the diaphragm. Just choose here and a window will open like this of the defined diaphragm. In it you can see that D1 diaphragm D1 has been present. You can't delete it because we need only minimum one diaphragm, okay, to be present in this format. How to add our own new diaphragm? You can directly assign this, but we will be adding our own new diaphragm. Just click here on the add new diaphragm. Then a window will open like this of the diaphragm data. Here the diaphragm name will be D2, and here there are the two options, that is the rigid and the semi rigid. We have seen the difference between them first of all, and now we are going for the defining and assigning part, okay. So just we will be seeing here defining diaphragm D2. What is D2? D2 is the name of the diaphragm we are putting, right? In the rigidity, we will be putting here as the rigid slab, rigid diaphragm, okay, as its rigidity. Just click on OK. We have seen the difference between rigid and semi-rigid. Now D2 has been defined. Now we don't want this D1, or we can just check it for the modify show diaphragm. You can see that D1 is also in the form of the rigidity as the rigid. Just click on OK, and we don't need this D1. Just click on delete diaphragm. You can see that D2 is been perfectly fitted. Just click on OK, and you can to see it once again as the D2 has been defined properly or not. We have to go once again to define. In define, we have to go once again to this diaphragms. Then a window will open here. Here you can see that D2 is been perfectly defined. To see its more property, just click on this modify show diaphragm. You can see that D2 is been in the form of the rigid that we have defined perfectly. Just click on OK, and like this way we define the diaphragm. Let's see now what the theory part says. The same thing it is been saying step by step how to define and assign a diaphragm. Open diaphragm. Open the diaphragm definitions. It is present in the defined diaphragm. Here you can add, edit or delete the diaphragm names. Then the step 2, create a new diaphragm. Click add new diaphragm. Click on the name D1. Choose the rigid or the semi-rigid. Here is the tip given by that rigid for the normal slab and semi-rigid for the irregular or the flexible slab, or if there is a large opening is present, we provide the semi-rigid diaphragm, okay. Then after the step 3, that is the select the slab element. This is for the assigning part. In this video we have seen that how to define the diaphragm. Now we will proceed with further with the assigning part in this video only. So we'll start here with this step 3, that is the select the slab element. Then use the select tool. Here I will just directly show you how it actually works. For that we have to go to this select. As we have defined the diaphragm, go to define. In define we have defined the perfectly the D2 diaphragm. Just click on OK. Now we have to select the slab. slab area only. Just go to select object type. In it we have to select only this floors area. Just go to select and click on OK. You can see that the only the slab area has been selected, no column and the beam are been selected. We only apply the diaphragm on the floors or the slab area. Okay, it make a note of it. And after selecting this diaphragm, go to this assign. In assign we have to go to this shell. As this is the shell property, then we have to go to this shell. In the assign, go to assign shell. In it there is a option present as this diaphragms. Just click on it, then a window will open of the shell assignment diaphragm. In it we have to choose the diaphragm assignment D2. Here just click on apply and just click on OK. You can see that the D2 diaphragm has been perfectly seen. It has been applied on this plan view. It has not been seen in 3D view. To see in the 3D view, we have to go to this set display option. When you go to this set display option, this window will open. In it we have to choose this option of the diaphragm extent in the general format. Just click on apply and you can see that this diaphragm is being seen perfectly. Just click on OK. In the 3D view also you can see that the diaphragm is present. But to be noted that we generally many times if the building is same, if the format of the building is same for each and every floor, then we put the same diaphragm as the D2. But if the format of the building is different, means that it is been in this cutout format or the irregular format, story to story level, then we define the different diaphragms. Like for the story 1 we define the D1 diaphragm, for the story 2 we define the D2 diaphragm. Likewise we define the different diaphragms. So I will once again show you how it actually works. So first of all we will see the detail of it, and like this way we have assigned it. But to see it in the step by step format, we have completed till step 2. Step 3 was the select the slab area, slab element, use select tools. Here we select all the slab element for that floor. You can select by the story or by XY plane. Only the floor slab get the diaphragm, not the beam and the column, to be noted here. Okay, then we assign the diaphragm. We have selected, right? Then after we have assigned, how to assign them, we go to this assign shell diaphragm. Choose here as the D1 that we have defined there as the D2, and just click on apply. Your diaphragm is now assigned. And we need to repeat the step for the other floors also. If every floor is similar, assign the same diaphragm D1 to all the floors. If floors behave differently, create the separate diaphragm names. Okay.